This video is going to help you achieve a SMART score of 83 or above on IXL Link B48. So with that said, let's get started. All right, so as always, I like to rewrite the problem personally. That's just personal preference. So I have 5v over 5v squared. And so I always say just take one thing at a time. We have our 5s. That's the easiest to work with. 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1. So we're going to write down our number 1. And v divided by v squared is going to be, again, there is an imaginary 1 there next to that v. Okay, so it is going to be v1 minus 2, because when we are dividing with exponents, we're going to subtract them. Okay, so it's going to be, when we simplify that, it's v to the negative 1. It tells us to express our answer in positive exponents. So in order to make this a positive exponent, we have to send it to the next floor. So it's going to be 1 over v to the first power, which you can rewrite as 1 over v. So that's the first example. Then it gets a little bit harder. 4w to the 8th power over 2w to the negative 1. So again, take one thing at a time. 4 divided by 2 is simply 2. And then for w, we're going to have 8 minus negative 1. So we have two subtraction symbols here. So that really just turns that into 2w over here, 8 plus 1. Okay, so when we do that, when we simplify it even further, we have 2w to the 9th power. That does not look like a 9. There we go. Okay, then it gets a little bit harder. Okay, so we have 7y z to the 4th over 7y to the 7th and just z. And I always like to check everything. We're going to do just one by one. 7 divided by 7 again is just 1. Y divided by y to the 7th, again, there is an imaginary 1 there. So that's just going to be 1 minus 7. So for y, it's going to be 1 minus 7. Okay, and when we do that, we are going to get negative 6. Okay, and then for our z, it's going to be 4 minus 1, which is just 3. Now, again, it's asking us to express our answer using positive exponents. So this negative 6 right here is just not going to fly. We're going to have to send that y down. And again, that negative 6 is attached to the y. So we're going to have to send that y down to the other floor. And so the z can stay because it's positive. It can stay on the first floor. Y is we're sending it downstairs so that it can turn into a positive 6. And again, you don't have to do anything with that. The 1, we already did 7 divided by 7. 1 in algebra or in math, we don't really have to write the 1 because it's just kind of like implied that it's there. If there's nothing there, it's just a 1 always. So we don't have to write it. Okay, but if you do write it, it's not the wrong answer. All right, here we go. This is for 83%. So let's rewrite it just to see what we have. I always rewrite everything. So we're just going to rewrite. Okay, and take one thing at a time. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. A to the negative 1, or negative 1 power minus 6. So negative 1 minus 6 because they're both negatives, is going to give us -7. For our B, we have a 1, remember an imaginary 1, -6. So 1 minus 6 is going to be -5. Okay, then we have our C's. Okay, so we have 0 minus 4. 0 minus 4 is just going to be -4. D to the 5th power divided by D is just going to be D5 minus 1, which is just 4. And we are not done because, again, we need to express it in positive exponents. So whatever is not positive is going downstairs. Okay, so we like to send all of the negative exponents downstairs with their bases. So A, B, and C are all being sent downstairs. Let me get my pen back. All right, and we don't have to rewrite that 1 because it's just implied that it's there. So D is the only one that got to stay because it was already positive. And we sent A downstairs, B, and C, all so they can have a positive awakening, however you're going to remember it. Okay, and those are your 4 examples. You can't really see them to get to at least 83%. And if you have any questions, just send me a chat.